Hello and welcome to Tête-à-Tête, France 24's flagship interview show. Our guest today is Ihor Fedirko. He is the CEO of the Ukraine Council of Defense Industry, an association of weapons manufacturers. Welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot.
I want to begin with the impact of the war in Iran in the Middle East. The Ukrainian president has complained that it is deflecting attention from Ukraine, but also key weapons, especially Patriot missiles. But on the other hand, we've seen agreements between Ukraine and several countries in the region. So what is your assessment of the impact of this war on Ukraine and its weapons industry?
So, first of all, it's better one time to feel it or to see it than 100 times to hear about it. So that's how this is the impact of Iranian war. Before we go around the world, around Europe, to propose some products, some cooperation as well. And right now, after the starting of this war, a lot of countries and allies of the Gulf countries as well comes to us and ask us to help them to defend airspace in Gulf countries. So that's why, right now the Ukraine armed forces and Ukraine defense industry play the new role. Right now we can fight against the joint alien, so that's why enemy. So that's how we can, work together against challenges which we are faced on right now.
What are those countries asking you specifically in terms? Is it drone? Is it sea drones? What else?
Mostly it's around our drones technologies. So, and especially it's the interceptor drones. So like many countries right now, they see that you can't use such expensive solutions such as PAC-3 missiles against the Shaheds because it's incomparable in price and you can't use it. So that's why they're looking for the cost-effective solutions which provide by Ukrainian defense industry. And I think that we are one country in the world which can immediately install not one solution, but we install the ecosystem in the Gulf countries and defend their airspace. And we will continue to do that. And I hope that the negotiations which we signed before, we can provide more sustainable and durable cooperation with the defense industries of Gulf countries.
You mentioned interceptor drones. According to the defense minister of Ukraine, more than 33,000 Russian drones were destroyed by those interceptors in March. This is twice the figure of a month before. Is this really a change of scale, and could it have an impact on the battlefield?
Yes, 100%. So first of all, we raised the quantity, the quality, and as well we have right now more than 25-30 solutions such as interceptor drones. So we rise not just the quantity, so we rise the numbers of products because a lot of our companies supply the AI technologies inside and many others sensors. So that's why the percentage of our success is rising day by days. And as well, we are looking for the other solutions and the deep technologies which provided, for example, by French companies. We can apply these deep technologies into our product and make them more effective as well.
The objective assigned by Ihor Fedirko, the defense minister, for this year, detect 100% of aerial targets, drones and missiles together, and shoot down 95% of them. It's 80% currently. Is it realistic or is it too difficult?
So it's not easy, it's true, because we adapt, and every weeks we get the new feedback from our defense line, so from our soldiers. We get this experience and expertise, we apply them to our products, renew our product, and send them back to the battlefield line. That's how we increase our capacity, our percentage of success, and many other things. And like what I can say more, that's it's not just around the product, as I said, because the interceptor drones, for example, is just the one instrument, just the one solution. But we have to talk about the ecosystem. You have to know what kind of drones comes to you, where exactly it is, so how to detect them, how to hit them, how to collect all this information, how to apply the AI. So we have all these solutions. We keep them and we unite them to the one main ecosystem. That's why the percentage rising days by days.
One issue has been revived, I would say, maybe what you're describing with several countries in the Gulf, the issue of export of arms. Obviously, since the onset of the war with Russia in 2022, there have been very strict limitations on exporting arms, the argument being that they're needed in Ukraine by the Ukrainian army. In early February, President Zelensky seemed to change. He said, we could maybe have some centers across Europe where Ukrainian weapons would be manufactured, and also set up a system of controlled exports. Is it really a change, or are you asking for more freedom in order to sell Ukrainian weapons?
Yeah, so first of all, it's true that our president announced in October 2025 that we are open our export. First of all, the second steps that we renovate our main commission of export control. So it's just starting work just 2 months ago. Next step is that we have to have these frameworks where we can work together with our allies. So it's the G2G level. So, in all these steps we passed, and right now, so yes, we want, like the private sector wants to make these processes faster, because like 90 days for getting their licenses, it's in Ukraine, it's a long time, really, it's a long time, because some innovations, some technologies changed totally during this time. So that's why we have to be more flexible, more fast. Our president signed the agreement with the Gulf countries as well, and I think that it will be the first steps in this region. We are ready, like the industry, we're ready to cooperate with them to establish the joint venture, because for us it's the main focus. It's not the direct export. We want to establish the sustainable, durable cooperation with Europe and with the allies of Europe as well.
How much could the Ukrainian defense industry make if it was allowed to export more? I mean, what is an objective that is realistic?
So we have like two sides of medal. First of all, we don't have enough funding and financial opportunities to buy all our capacity. And on the other side, is our capacity. Right now, we can produce close to $55 billion per year, the weaponry. So, but our budget covered just 35% of them. So that's why we have a huge storages for direct export. But as I said before, the main thing, our main mindset that we have to establish the joint venture, that's how we can be the part of the joint defense industry of Europe. That's why we are really hard working on it.
You mentioned a figure of $10 billion in 5 years. Is this a realistic objective for annual defense exports?
Yeah, I believe in that, because I think that we can get from export maybe one and a half during first year, and I think that in the period of 5 next years we can get more, like as I said before, like close to 10 billions.
Last issue, Ukraine is beginning also to experience the use of private sector in air defense, not only in manufacturing weapons, but in using them to some limited degree. It needs, obviously, cooperation with the army, but this would be rather unusual. Normally, it's the army that decides. Is the private sector also bound to play a bigger role on the battlefield against Russia?
Sure. So just for example, like 90% of all deep strikes, all types of drones produced by private sector. 90% of electronic warfare solutions as well produced by private sector. 100% of maritime drones produced by private sector. So, and private sector right now starting to produce something like classical weaponry, such as missiles, ballistic missiles. One of the biggest our manufacturer of deep strikes drones, Firepoint, starting to produce the ballistic missile. And for us, it's like the new generation, new step. This is our new unicorn, and we have more than 10 companies like that. So I think that private sector played a huge role in defense industry of Ukraine. And for just comparing, state-owned companies in Ukraine, it's like 100 plus companies, but private companies, the quantity close to 1,000 plus, and we have more than 1,200 R&D and startups. So it's a huge ecosystem, and also without the strong connectivity with the armed forces, we never get the feedback so fast, first of all, and it's impossible to keep your product adaptable without armed forces. So it's like that.
So you believe there'll be more coordination? Private sector will be actually fighting on the ground?
I think that it's the main value. That's why our private sector products so successful, because we have this strong connectivity with our armed forces. So,
thank you very much, Ihor Fedirko, for being our guest here on France 24. Thank you all for watching this edition of Tête à Tête. Stay tuned for more news.